Hello, and thank you so much for tuning into Ubuntu channel. You're watching us live on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on Twitter. And it's another Monday. We are back with Ubuntu Lifestyle, where we just bring different personalities and try to just get to know more about them. And today is no different from the other Mondays we've had so far. Again, I welcome you and thank you for joining us. My name is Lawrence Mulungu. Now, this week we have a very interesting person, actually someone bringing in from the coming in from the political circles, of course, but we are here to just get to know more about them, and it's none other than David Sampa, who is the area ward councillor for Kasenje ward in Kafiwe constituency, and also the ward chairperson for UPND in the same area. David, good evening and welcome to Ubuntu channel.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence Mulungu, and it's a pleasure actually to be on this platform of yours. Of course, I do not take it as a light thing, but I think I just want to thank you all and also to just welcome the viewers out there.
Thank you for that, and we appreciate the fact that you honored our request to be on this platform this evening. And obviously, this is a platform which we just intend to get to know so much about you, probably away from the usual nitty-gritties of your schedules and all that. Just a little bit of a chit chat, and we hope you feel at home and also get to give us some good responses and insights about yourself, David.
Okay. I think, well, simply, I'm just David Sampa. As you have said, I think the intro itself that you've actually given speaks volumes. I think I would, from my own perspective, I think I love to just introduce myself as David Sampa. Of course, outside these other things that we're able to do, of course, I'm a community member, first of all, and leader. Of course, I'm a citizen of Zambia, 100%. And I think it's just basically that.
Well, David, I would still just want to know just a brief background about yourself. Where you grew up and where you did your schools and all that. Probably we can just give us in those lines.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, first of all, let me just say I'm actually someone who has grown up in Kafiwe. There's no any other place that I've known apart from Kafiwe itself. Grew up in Kafiwe, started my grade 1. I think then it was Kafiwe Primary. I think from there I went on to go to Kasenje, where I did, I think, up to grade 7. Wrote my grade 7 there. Wrote my grade 9 there, then went to Nawoye. But those days, we used to be very, 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 very much playful. And so, parents looking at you, they'll be like, I think this person obviously, once you actually don't make it at grade 12, then obviously that becomes a problem. So it's that moment where they said, I think let's not just leave him. Yeah, so that's when I actually was taken to boarding school. I think that was grade 11 from Nawoye. I think I was taken to Mansa Secondary, where I was there, I think, from grade 11, term 2. That's where I actually wrote my grade 12. But Kafiwe has always been home. So even on holidays, of course, you won't spend your time there. Of course, you have to come back home. So I think that has been that in terms of my secondary. I think stayed a bit. Then I went on to go to Evelyn Horn College, where I did my business management. I think for some 3 years there. I think from there on, I came back, but you see, when you look at the environment as it is in Kafiwe, where much of the companies, of course, were actually sold off, and so you don't have so much. And so most our friends and youngsters, you know, the way it is. That's why I said, anyway, I think let me try and search something that I could do for myself. Of course, I did a few things here and there, ventured into construction as well. Yeah, but then, you know, when you have a passion for your own community, you want to see it grow and things like that. So that's how I actually ended up getting into politics. But of course, we do not forget where we come from. So I think it's just basically that. I think that has just been my introductory part of it, and just lifestyle.
I tell you what, I find it very harsh that your parents would, I don't know if it was you were taken by air, by rail, by whatever means of transport, lift you all the way to Mansa and just abandon you there. Because having gone to boarding myself, trust me, the first time was very harsh. And I thought, these people, do they hate me this much? They want me so far from them. But we learned to grow from it, and I'm sure you ended up enjoying the life in boarding and all that. And moving on, David, are you a family man, married with kids or anything like that?
Oh well, not yet, not yet. But of course, it's something that you must do. You know, when you are into a political career, you know, the first thing that people ask you, the moment you just introduce yourself, now they'll be looking in the sides and asking you, "Where's the madam?" So, but otherwise, currently, I'm actually very, I can say single, but of course, I have a fiancé. Soon, obviously, getting married.
Okay.
You know, you have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself, but otherwise, it won't be so long before you actually hear that my status has actually just changed from being single to being now someone who's actually married.
I'm personally looking out for that, and trust me, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll find a way. I'll be there.
Please, please. You actually be the first person that I'm going to send my invitation to.
I'll be there waiting for it. All right, moving on. Thank you so much to the viewers out there for joining us. This is Ubuntu channel, and we are hosting the Kasenje Ward Area Councillor. That is Mr. David Sampa himself. Or we call you Councillor Sampa. Is it?
Oh yes, no problem. Whatever fits.
Awesome. So now I getting into what probably you are known for so much right now, which is politics. What really inspired you to join politics?
Well, you know, like I've stated, growing up, though politics, I think, was not the first thing or my first drive. You know, I remember back then when I was in college, I would encourage each other with a lot of friends of mine, whereby we would actually think of at least motivating a few of our friends, because we believe that, you know, motivation actually plays a very big role. You know, when you come from a community whereby a lot of things probably do not encourage you, maybe much of the things that you see before you obviously discourage, it's in the negative aspect. So when we were just in school, I think we had encouraged ourselves with a few of our colleagues to say that, oh, I think we can venture into encouraging the youngsters, especially in secondary school. So I think that was my drive, first of all. And so coming to Kafue, I actually wanted to realign myself. So one of the first things that I looked upon was obviously going in the streets, maybe talking to a few of these youngsters and things like that, so that at least they may be uplifted. Because, you know, when you live in an environment whereby there's very little things that can encourage you. You know, you look at industries that have fallen apart. You look at a few ventures in which maybe, so it was just a couple of so many things. So I actually thought to myself, okay, I think let me try and do that. let me try and encourage a few of my colleagues. But then I realized that within the process, I think politics plays a very big role. Of course, when you're just starting up, even just our bodies, the way you are, people look at you and they're thinking, what can this guy tell me? You go to the school, probably a few of denials here and there. So I think I actually pondered upon myself and I said, okay, let me realign myself. How can I fit in so that at least I can be able to encourage a few of my colleagues, to tell them that it is possible when you believe in yourself. It is possible when you put forth something that you want to achieve with all your heart, you are able to really achieve that thing. So I said, okay, I think in the line of politics, very few young people obviously would want to go in because of a few aspects. Maybe finances can actually come into. Maybe because you do not come from a background whereby your name has already been laid out for you, or maybe a platform to obviously start from has already started. So I thought, okay, where can I start from so that I be able to encourage a few of my colleagues? And I thought, okay, maybe if I ventured into politics. Of course, as you know me and a few other people, when we're obviously in school, we were one of the people that obviously would not speak a lot. So getting into politics was like a very big challenge for me. So, but then I said, I need to achieve. So it's one obstacle that was before me. And I needed to use that platform to be able to send out a message to my fellow youth to say that whatever that you believe in, whatever that you want to achieve, you will make it, even if the outside world or maybe other people may try and discourage you. Believe you me, I've gone upon a lot of obstacles, a lot of discouragements, a lot of insults. But then those things must not hinder you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So I think at the end of it all, it was just a platform to send out a message to people that are outside there that whatever you want, you are able to achieve. It doesn't matter what lies before you or what obstacles are actually before you. But if you believe in yourself, if you believe on that which you want to achieve, you are able to do that. So I think it was just a platform for me. It was an obstacle that I needed to overcome for me to send out a message to my fellow youths as part of that drive to tell them to say that we are actually youths and we are able to do anything that we actually want to believe.
In your response, you've actually mentioned something that I was going to ask about. That is to do with you being. I think your character is your nature is you are just a quiet and calm person. In all this time that you've been in politics, how easy is it for you as an individual? To face all these probably debates, there are times when you have to sometimes obviously exchange, differ with people on ideas, especially your opponents. Obviously, I wouldn't want to say your enemies or rivals, because I believe this is just a game of ideas. Who has the better idea to run it, to run for this particular seat or something like that? And I think that is how I look at it. And how have you managed to conquer that quietness in you, to face all these things and push on and be where you are?
I tell you what, I think each one of us has an inner ability which no one else has. Before I challenged myself to get into politics, I didn't know like what kind of a person I am, what limits do I have. But then I came to realize that in my quietness, when I am faced with questions, I was able to answer. I had a lot of ideas that I could only put on paper. But then the thing was that how can I get what is on paper to be spoken out through the mouth? And so I realized that through those challenges, I was able to get out that giant that was in me. So I think public speaking I think it's something which was in me, but then I had not yet identified it. So, but then by putting forth that challenge, I was able to bring out that which was hidden inside of me. So I think when we are faced towards the wall, you know, I always say that, you know, if you go somewhere, or maybe if you are pushing something that is weak, and then it is not pushing back, you know, because it actually has space to actually keep going back. So the more that giant pushes this small person towards the wall, it will continue to go backwards because there is space behind. But immediately you hit the wall, you have no space now to continue going backwards. So if that strong thing continues to push you, it will crush you. So now you have a choice between being crushed or to now ignite the giant that's in you to fight what is before you. So then I think that's the point that which I actually get to. And I was able to bring out what was inside of me, and that was the ability to debate. Because, you know, whether we agree or not, debate is based on points. It is obviously, in terms of politics, it is based on reality. Of course, I knew the reality of Kafue because I grew up in Kafue. So it was easy now to bring out points. It was easy to bring out something that I wanted to see. So I think it was something that was so natural for me because I actually grew up in here. So it was part of me. So it was easy to bring it out. So I think I just ignited the giant that was in me. I think it was actually just basically that.
And having followed you, I think your political journey, you know, I think that was the previous elections before the 2021. That was 2016 general election. You had stood again as, for the same position and did not make it that time. How did you take that defeat, and how did you manage to soldier on up to the time you won in 2021?
You know, life is full of lessons, and we should not despise challenges that come to us. You know, there are a lot of situations that we usually face, and when we face them, mostly the natural thing for us to do is to run away from that situation. Anything that is tough, we don't want it. That's how we humans are. We want something that is easy, something that is smooth soaring. But then I think for me, life taught me so many things. Of course, I cannot say that I grew up from a family full of challenges, but I think it was just probably just mild. But then I would give myself challenges. I would give myself tough situations. Sometimes I would find myself in a situation which was so hard, and I needed to up my game. I needed to find ways in which I was able to overcome. And so throughout, I think life teaches us a lot of lessons. And if our eyes can be open to different situations that come before us, it could be perhaps you have lost a loved one. In as much as that is so hard to really grasp and obviously sober on, but we should find a way in which we are able to consume pain. You know, pain is always good, but only if you identify that it is good and if you accept it, that it's not a bad thing. Even failure is also good, but it only becomes bad if you think that failure is there to punish you. No. Failure is there to teach us. So I think it's a lesson that I got throughout life. And so it was easy for me though it was painful because you know you're actually standing as an independent, you don't have the financial ability, and so everything that you put in terms of financial finance, it is something that you have accumulated personally, and so to lose that kind of money is something that is painful. Of course, you'd be having thoughts that perhaps I would have put it in business instead of wasting it. But then for me, I think it was a big lesson. Instead of getting the negatives from the experience, I got the positives. For example, I was able to know how different people live. I was able to know how to communicate to people. I was able to know different people from different experiences, different backgrounds. So I think that's something that I got away from it. I was able also to grab the experience that even if I was to get into business, because politics, especially during campaign, it's more like marketing. So having done business management, I think for me, it was more like practice on how to market a product. So I think from the bad result or from the failure, I was able to identify things that I had learned from it. So I turned out the failure into a learning process. Okay, these are the things that I got from it. So I didn't get the word failure from it. I didn't get the experience of failure, but I got the experience of, okay, what are the good things that I could be able to identify from this process? So I think it was a learning curve for me. I got a lot of lessons, which now when the time came, I think I was able to, to use what I had learned at that time in the election of 2021.
I ask some of these questions because our objective here on Ubuntu Lifestyle is for someone at least out apologies for that internet disruption, but nevertheless, we continue right here on Ubuntu channel. I was saying we try to draw some lessons from experiences of others to try and teach others also who may be watching us and try to learn how to face some of these challenges, because these are some of the excuses that people give as to why they did not make it, why they did not do this or that. And this is what we are trying to learn from you. And there's just so much that we have kind of learned from Mr. David right here. But obviously, we seem to have lost Mr. David temporarily due to connectivity challenges and all that. Nevertheless, the pro show must go on. And what we're going to do right here is take just a little break. And on the other side, we should be back with Mr. David Sampa so we can continue on Ubuntu Lifestyle. Meanwhile, keep on giving us the comments on whatever platform you're watching us from, and we'll be able to see them right here live on Ubuntu channel. We go for a short break and we will be back on the other side. Okay, we seem to not to have the break ready, but nevertheless, David is back with us, and we continue with the program as planned and all that. Mr. David, good to have you back, and obviously, internet did its own abracadabra on us, and we lost touch. But nonetheless, we continue with the program, and this is Ubuntu channel. catching us live on various social media platforms, and we do just this on Monday, bring you different personalities and try to learn something from them and things that they've gone through to be where they are. And right now we have Councillor David Sampa, the Kafie's Kasenje ward area councillor. And Mr. David, I think probably we go on. I want to know from you. You are a youth. Many of other youths out there are looking forward to actually be in the position that you are, to just be a councillor, to see what they can do for the areas they live in and all that. What exactly does it take for someone young as you are to be just there? What do they need to have?
Well, it's quite a very broad question, if I should say it that way, because anyway, there's no one way fits all. But then I think I can just state this to say that, you know, with politics, first of all, I think it just takes the confidence, you know, without
Well, we seem to have lost Mr. David again. We're having difficulties with internet, obviously. And what we're going to do right here is take a short break. And on the other side, we come and continue with the program. Director, give us a break.
Is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshila iyo abantu basendelamo ifyo umuntu afwiryo kuba nefyo afwiryo kuchita nefyo afwiryo kwikaliramo Ubuntu.
Chitemiko, Ubuntu mutende.
Ubuntu nikukhala pamodzi. Ubuntu nikusamala. Ubuntu nikukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
Ubuntu is I'm a person because of a person. That's really a person. I'm who I am because of who we are.
What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of others and be able to put yourself in their position, be able to do something about it.
We're going to be offering some of our viewers more content, and apart from more content, we are going to expect our viewers to be participating more, and then we want also our viewers to also like our channel.
Yes, and they should like it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And not to forget that our content is reliable. It's not fake news. We do not have fake news on this channel.
80% of infertilities because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay, since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comments in the
Yes.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our
Right. Welcome back, and we apologize for the interruption that was due to connectivity challenges. Nonetheless, the program continues. And David, it's good that we are back online and can still continue the program.
Oh yes, for sure. And so I think it's probably someone else obviously getting jealous and they want to interrupt with the network.
But obviously it has not worked, and we are back.
Oh yes, for sure.
So, David, I was asking earlier on to say, there are a lot of youths out there who are trying to get into positions that probably one of them you're occupying there. They want to have a chance to do something for their communities, for their areas where they live in. What does it take?
Oh yeah, so I was actually explaining to say that there is no one way fits all. And this is quite a very broad question. But then I would state the facts to say that in politics, there is no one way fits all. But then I would highlight a few things like, of course, in the political arena, obviously dedication plays a very big role. Confidence of the one who wants to represent the community, support of the community also. You know, there is nothing you can be able to achieve if you do not have the support of the people. We are because of people. Without people, we would not be there. So it's the people that make us.
Yeah.
So connect yourself to the people. Have the confidence, because once you have confidence, even the people who want to be represented are going to also have confidence that we have someone who is able to represent us very well. So, and also just be dedicated, because dedication plays a very big role. And as leaders, we need to be, sacrifice it all. Because if you do not have the spirit of sacrifice, it becomes very difficult for you to achieve anything, especially in leadership. So I think these are just a few things that one needs to actually get on, and also to have the spirit of never giving up. There are so many things that really happen in this journey. But then if you have the spirit of not giving up, you'll be able to achieve that which you want to achieve. So I think with these few points, I think you should be able to have yourself, I think, somewhere near the oasis, the line of politics.
Well, now that you have brought in the fact that it's people that make you politicians be where you are, I also want to find out from you, how does it affect your the fact that let me rephrase that. The fact that you are a public figure, you are someone who is holding a position somewhere, a position that has got some sort of influence. How does it affect your relationship with people that you will probably have known for even more than the time that you have been a public figure and all that? Especially the fact that I think us Zambians, when we have someone we know in a key position, we always hope to get some sort of favors from them. And obviously, it's not usually possible to give them favors and all that. How do you manage to balance your relationships with people asking for you to help them in this area or that area and all that, and you are holding the integrity and manage to carry out your duties as expected?
Well, I think it all goes to integrity. You know, being in politics, of course, speaking for Zambia and Kafue in particular, you know, our politics as Africans, of course, they're actually that driven by favors. Yeah, when you know someone, even just as a family, if you have someone who is obviously well-to-do, because as politicians, there is that notion that we are actually well-to-do. Anyone who's a politician is deemed that they are very well-to-do. So because of that, everyone else thinks that if they want to do anything, if they want to obviously, if they want financial assistance, they want a favor maybe with a job, or maybe they want a sort of like some connections, they would obviously look to you, friends, family, members of the community.
Yeah.
But then you need to remember that you are not there because of family. You are not there because of friends, but you are there because you need to serve everyone who is in need, regardless of where they are, regardless of who they are to you, but they all stand on a level basis, or maybe platform, if I should say. So now, based on that, you need to offer services according to the mandate that you have been given. Don't go off limits, because you end up doing a lot of wrong things. And when you do a lot of wrong things, you have everyone else blaming you. Even the state obviously will come before you. So as politicians, I think that's something that we need to make sure that we fight. We need to be leaders of integrity. Save based on the mandate that you have been given, without fear or favor. So I think that has really helped me a lot. Whenever someone comes to me, probably a friend or anyone, I just tell them the right procedures to do. If it's based on procedure, you just tell them this is the procedure to do if you want to benefit in such a way. But for me to actually take it upon myself, not because they are family, because they are friends, meaning that I need to maybe take it personally, then that will be hindering someone who's more genuinely wanting that kind of a thing. And you know, as politicians, if we take the route of trying to favor family, trying to favor friends, most of the times you will find that we even put the wrong people in positions that will hinder the smooth delivery of that service. Because, you know, it's like you do business, as it has been stated most of the times. You find that you put in family that is not skilled, that is not qualified, just because they are family, you end up having more problems than just that one problem of employment that you have actually sorted out. So I think integrity and just bringing out the truth really helps out. So I won't hide anyone just because they are friends. I'll just tell them plainly, this is the truth, this is the way to go. And it ends there.
And whenever you do that, I'm sure you can even see the facial expression. Guys, guys, and you just leave it at that, and you don't mind about it.
Yeah, of course, you know, it's just human nature that those that are closest to you obviously touch the heart most, and you would want to make them happy. Yeah, but at the end of it all, you know, if you want to be a people pleaser, you achieve very less. And at the end of it all, you have more people to blame you. So, you know, in leadership, you need to have the evil side of you. Yeah. So in leadership, you need to have the evil side of you, whereby you are just there, just trying to tell people the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I think that really helps. Of course, it may look bad. You know, there are instances whereby someone comes for help. You even know this person is in dire need of such a help. But then there are no incentives for those people. There are no incentives. You are not really able to give them that which they want. But then lying to them is deceiving yourself and also deceiving them, of which in the long run, the truth always reveals itself. So I think that
there is
has
a general
really helped me so much.
There is a general belief that in politics you have to quote the truth with a little bit of lies, so that it can sound sweet and people can believe you and vote for you. You have to somehow lie a little bit and over exaggerate. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But you have brought out something that I'm actually taking to the bank, and that is the word integrity.
Sorry, can you come again? I can hardly hear you.
Okay, I was saying there is this notion out there where people say a politician must have a little bit of tuboza, so to spice up your activities and all that. And at the backflip of that, you have brought out the word integrity, and integrity means just integrity. And you seem to bring out the point that it is better you are left out, you are not voted for, because you carry that integrity within yourself, and you show it out there. You tell people what the truth is and nothing but the truth. How has it gone out so far, working out with integrity? How have people accepted that? Because sometimes there are people who would rather you tell them the truth, even if things are bad. You tell them the truth. There are people who never understand the truth, and when you lie to them, are very happy. How is it going out there for you when you do everything with integrity?
Well, I can tell you that in politics, of course, integrity is not something that a lot of people have. Most of people, obviously, you know, as it has been said by other philosophers, that the best politician is he who knows how to lie. But then, you know, yeah, we need, at the end of it all, I think you must remember that lies have very short legs. Yes, you may lie today, but then it won't take you that far. So in everything that you do, you must remain truthful. Yes, let's play our politics, but in our politics, let's remember that we are, the reason why we are actually politicians is to serve the community, is to serve the people. And these are people that, because we do not stay in these positions forever. These are short-term contracts. So then, but then if you lie to the people, then what happens after that 5-year mandate has actually ended? And for us who come from the same community in which we know that we'll be in this same community for a very long time, obviously our entire lifetime, how would it be that Mr. Mulungu is my neighbor whom I lied to? Now I'm not in that position. How are you going to take it? You actually stinge me even the salt and say, no, Indian guys were Ninama when he was there. Yeah, he's a liar. He's a thief. So, but then we need to stay true to who we are and always remember that we are in this because of the people.
Ubuntu is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshila iyo abantu basendelamu ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba nefyo afwiri okukita nefyo afwiri okwikaliramu ubuntu.
Ubuntu chitemiko, ubuntu mutende.
Ubuntu nikukhala pamodzi. Ubuntu nikusamala. Ubuntu nikukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
All right. Wow. What a program we've been having. And also, internet seems to be taking us aback and aback and aback and just being a challenge, all that. But all the same, this is Ubuntu channel live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter, catching up with Councillor David Sampa. That's the area councillor for Kasenje ward in Kafiwe constituency. David, again, internet did it.
Oh yeah, just imagine. But anyway, we actually keep on defeating it from time and again.
So, David, as we draw towards the end of this broadcast, I want to take you back again to some of the challenges that I think point out on your behalf before I ask you to bring out some of them that you may be facing also in the position that you are in right now. One of them is I think I tend to wonder, you are very small in stature, very small, and I think someone would look at you and say, and all that. And you have to make tough decisions, sometimes be found in situations which are hot-tempered and all that. How do you stand up to all these probably big opponents and all that, and you are able to stand your ground and say, no, I think we should go this way and not what you are saying?
Well, I think something that I can tell you is that dynamite always comes in small packages. So, oh yeah, for sure. If you look at it, you'll be thinking, I think this is not going to do anything to me. But before you know it, it has blown your face off. So, yeah, so I think what I can say is that, to be a politician, you need to be confident, like I said, the spirit to fight. One thing that really encourages me is that there are so many people. There are thousands of, whenever I stand on a platform to speak and I am challenged, I don't look at myself as me, because the moment I look at myself as me, then somehow I actually fail to represent people. So I think about the people that are behind me. How many people have sent me to represent them? And so by me keeping quiet is me neglecting the people. We have so many people behind us. And so if I do not speak out, I'll be misrepresenting them. So I think those are the few things that really encourage me to just speak out. But I think, growing up in a spiritual home has actually helped me so much. Spiritually, we have examples of so many people like David, who went before the Goliath and was able to actually defeat him.
Of course.
We have examples. Oh yes, we have examples like Joseph, who was used by God to actually make decisions that were bold during a time that was so actually difficult. So I think spiritual life also helps. Having Christ in you also helps, because before us, we look at ourselves, and whenever you have that fear in you, there's always that spirit that moves you to say, can you pray? So then we look at ourselves and say, the one who is in me is bigger than the one who is in the world. There is so much greatness before me. So I always fight, because I know that there are people that fought, and I always have God before me who is going to help me to speak for the people, to stand up for the people and represent the people in the way that I'm supposed to represent them. But also, I think eliminating the spirit of fear in you. Yes, it is very difficult. It is very difficult most of the times, but then you need to stand out, because it's better to die for speaking the truth. It's better to die to speak for the people who have mandated you to do that. So I think that has really encouraged me in more ways than I can actually imagine.
David, I want to ask you something. On a normal day, what is your routine like? Wake up, what time, duties you have to face during the day, probably time you knock off, maybe you spend time in prayer, spend time reading books and all that. How is your normal day like?
Oh, well, in as much as I try, to keep up with a constant routine way of doing things, and it's obviously a challenge for now, but it's something that I'm fighting so that I can have a routine way of doing things. But I think every day I try by all means to wake up at 5. Yeah, I try by all means to wake up at 5. I wake up at 5. At least I must read something for 30 minutes. I read a lot, actually, too much. So I try by all means to read something for some good 30 minutes. And I do the same also before I actually take my sleep, which obviously comes after 23 hours. So I can sleep anytime after 23. Yeah, because immediately I sleep before that time, my sleep will actually end. So I think I wake up at 5. I do a few chores. After that, I think 6 hours I should be geared. But you know, I think as being a counselor, it's very hard because believe you me, this time that we have been having these conversations, there is a few knocks that have actually been actually made on my door. And so I knew that by me going there, obviously it will be another situation. It will be another more like session of an interview. So then, but I try by all means to keep a constant routine. But of course, duty obviously comes in, a few interruptions here and there, and so. But I think every day I try by all means to actually wake up at 5 o'clock, and I actually managed to do that. So yeah, I can say normally I think that's just that. But then also I make sure that my breakfast is actually had before 8:30. Yeah, obviously I need to take a bath before I actually eat. So obviously keeping an exact time record, I think I can only state the time that I wake up, the time I have breakfast, because every day, yeah, of course I need to have breakfast, of course. But then I think it's just basically that.
What is your which one is your favorite quote? Like one we should as Ubuntu lifestyle we should remember you for. Say David always uses this one and it should work for some of us.
Can you come again?
Do you have a favorite quote? Maybe word of encouragement or maybe favorite passage in the Bible that you mostly use every time and you mostly use anytime you need some sort of inspiration?
Well, you know, I think I have a few I just love the Bible as a whole. I don't really have my favorite scripture, but I think the Bible as a whole is just an encouragement to myself. Of course, like passages that I've already given, of course, from the book of Romans that states, I am more than a conqueror through Christ who strengthens me, is one of them. Also, from the book of John, where he states that Christ did not come to save those that are righteous, but he came for those that are lost. So I think those are the passages that really encourage me so much. But I think I just love the Bible as a whole. I think every year I make sure I read the Bible from Genesis to Revelations. Every year I need to finish it. And I'm looking forward at a time where I can be able to finish and actually study it in at least twice or 3 times in a year. But I think for now, I actually read it at least once from back to back, once a year.
I tell you what, we have a very powerful woman of God who comes on Sunday on this same platform called Namwinga. She just told us the same things you told us yesterday when we are having a moment with Grace with her, and she shared how much the Word of God is. Probably you need to catch her on Sundays around 20 hours and see what I'm talking about, David. Nonetheless, do you have any closing remarks and or maybe any words for maybe the people of Kasenje ward, the nation at large, or anyone else are following this platform at this point in time?
Well, I'll be sure to actually join her so that I can see and I can just listen to actually the message that she will have to actually deliver to us come this Sunday. But I think my words for the people of Kasenje, I think is just, I can never thank the people of Kasenje enough. They elected a young person. And so I'm very grateful to the people of Kasenje for electing me when all odds obviously said otherwise. But then I think I would just love to serve the people of Kasenje with all my heart, with all my strength, and with everything that I'm able to offer. I think I will indeed offer the people of Kasenje. But then, like I always say, to say that the time, not knowing when, but the time when I will leave the political stage, especially as councillor for Kasenje, I want the people to look back and say that I served them with every strength that I had. And so that the next young person who is going to come is not going to be disadvantaged because of how I actually conducted myself. I think I am an example. I should set as an example for the future young people who are going to come, who are going to aspire to stand as councillors in the ward of Kasenje. So I think for the people of Kasenje is just to thank them and that we are here to serve them better. And we'll be here for as long as we are able to serve them.
Awesome stuff. And Kasenje ward definitely made a very good choice in electing someone young, and we are grooming a future area member of parliament, David. Is it?
Well, I'm actually humbled. I'm humbled, but yeah, anyway, no words, nothing more, nothing less.
Awesome. This has been Ubuntu Channel's lifestyle program that comes every Monday at 20 hours, and we bring various kinds of personalities to the fore so that we can just get to know more about them and learn one or two from them on how they managed to get where they are. And today we had the Kasenje ward area member of parliament, that is Councillor David. Oh, I said member of parliament. Listen to that. I meant Kasenje ward area councillor. I'm not member.
You want to elevate me before the time?
I think you just have to say I receive. Probably it's a prophet speaking. You never know.
I receive. Man of God.
All the same, thank you so much for tuning into Ubuntu channel at this point in time. Right from you are watching us live on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Catch us on Monday again as we bring somebody else to come and interact with, just like we did today. Thank you so much to Councillor David Sampa for joining us on this edition of Ubuntu Lifestyle, and looking forward to have another exciting program next week, just like we did today. This has been Lawrence Mulungu, your host, and thank you so much for tuning in on behalf of everybody behind the production. Good night.
Thank you.